Hi. So I think I've maybe realized, just standing back there, that I've designed Vidcon entirely so I get to meet people who are my heroes. That was amazing, and now we have another of my heroes coming out. Fred Seibert was the first employee of MTV. He created Nick at Night. He changed Nickelodeon from being like the last most popular cable channel to like the number 3 most popular cable channel. He has created many of the things that I love through his work in his studios, including Powerpuff Girls, Adventure Time, just really things that define awesome to me. And he's been doing it for a long time and continues to be on the edge in a way that makes me feel like you are obsessed with a thing that most people aren't obsessed with. And I don't know how it's still halftime, by the way, if you're curious. But I'm amazed at he's always on the bleeding edge of the technology, and that seems to be where his interests lie. So I'm very, very pleased and proud to have him at Vidcon. Fred Seibert.
Please say hi, Fred, back. Thank you. You know, I've been really anxious about this talk, partly because Hank gave me so many things that he was asking me about. He said, you've been on the bleeding edge of media for so long, it looks like an obsession, like you just said. There are a lot of things to talk about: producing on a different budget, freedom of working online, your complete lack of tolerance for the BS factory. All the things I'd like to hear about. So I first said, well, you know what, maybe I want to talk about the fact that same as it ever was, but different. It's all been the same. I started in radio, I got into television, I got into cartoons, started online video in 2005, and it's all the same except for all the various pieces that are different. And now we're going through this different phase again. YouTube, the place that many of us started, years ago, isn't the same. There's almost no such thing as a viral video anymore. It's kind of a myth that all of the business people talk about, but we know it isn't true anymore. It's really hard. We don't get an email 5 times a day. Did you see the latest? Did you do this? Did you do that? We have to work a lot harder in order for people to see it. And so I was going to talk about that. We have a thing at our office we call the 8 Ps: panic, preparation, programming, production, positioning, promotion, presentation, personalization. But it reminded me that, at least for me, that's not what I really do for a living. I don't know actually how to do much at all. It's the people I work around who do things. And it occurred to me a couple of years ago that what I do for a living is I'm a fan for a living. Like all of us who are doing all this stuff that we do, we're fans. We're super fans. And we're such big fans that we decide to make things to share our fandom. In my case, I just look for people to be in love with. And, I meet Penn Ward, and I'm in love with Penn Ward, so I want to do Adventure Time. Or we meet Natasha Allegri, and we make her cartoon Bee and Puppy Cat because she's so wonderful. It turns out to be the biggest animation Kickstarter in history. And I think about being a fan and what it's like, because like you, I have to go into people's offices and ask them for help in making the stuff we do, because we make fairly expensive things. We can't afford to do it out of our own bank accounts. We have to create partnerships with people. And for the 30 or 40 years I've been doing this, I go into people's office, I tell them what it is that we're doing, and they start telling me that I'm wrong. They start like telling me all the reasons that they know things and I don't, or that our creative people don't, or our team doesn't. And so I try to find another place to go where nobody can tell me I'm wrong. I guess I'm kind of thin-skinned. I don't like to be told I'm wrong. I would guess the people who work for me feel the same way because I'm probably telling them that they're wrong, but I don't mean to do that. And everywhere we go in this world, can you imagine if Bernie had gone and pitched Rooster Teeth to some executive somewhere, or to a venture capitalist somewhere, or a dentist in his neighborhood looking for funding? What would they have said to him? They would have told him to go back to the spare bedroom and just hang out a little bit longer and get a real job. And I'm sure everybody here in this office, in this room, has been told that. And it just, to me it's kind of sad that there has been this structure that has been set up by business people who feel like, I don't know, to get over their own insecurities, they need to make us all feel really, really bad about being creative people. They don't understand that each and every one of you who makes something, that you actually are the only people in the universe who can see around a corner. You can see the future. You're given a blank piece of paper or a blank camera screen, and you invent the future for all of us. And we're all waiting for what each one of you has to say and what you have to do. And it becomes really frustrating. It really has been for me. And one of the reasons I found that the online video world is so fantastic, one of the reasons that I continue to be obsessed is looking for the next place where nobody's going to tell me I'm wrong, where we can do the things that we want to do, that we can sink or swim on our own energy. Most of us have had the experience not just of putting a video up and getting one view, but putting a video up and getting no views. Sometimes we do it wrong, but in order to get to the right thing, we got to do the wrong thing occasionally. And this business world is set up around us to make us feel like they're more important than we are. And I don't mean to make it an us versus them thing exactly, but it is us versus them. There was a great record executive named Unedited. He founded Atlantic Records, a company that discovered everybody from Ray Charles to Aretha Franklin to Led Zeppelin. And somebody asked him once, how do you succeed in the music business? And he started bumbling around like he was Frankenstein. He knocked himself into the wall. He said, the way that you succeed in the music business is you just walk around until you bump into a genius. And every one of these business people who is sitting there in judgment of the things we do, the thing that we don't realize is that they go home every night and they sweat and they shake and they lose sleep hoping that the next morning they're going to meet you. Because without you, they have no business. I mean, yeah, they can go and invest in real estate, or they can go and, buy a gold mine or something like that. But you're their gold mine. They look at you, we all love YouTube. YouTube has been an amazing thing for us. And like Hank said earlier, they're the only ones that have been generous enough to share. Twitter doesn't share, Tumblr doesn't share, Facebook doesn't share. YouTube, at least they share with us. But it's kind of interesting. I don't know how many of you have had the experience of them telling you you're wrong. That you're not uploading properly, that you don't title properly. We do the same thing. We just published an ebook, our 10 rules. Matt Gielen, our programmer, put together his 10 commandments of YouTube. Luckily, I think he was smart enough that in the 10th commandment said, please ignore everything in 1 through 9 and do it your way. Because great, talented people like you, doing it your way, you are the future. You're today, you're tomorrow, you're years from now. You are going to be defining the world and the business world that is out there. I hope we can all remember that and be excited about what we do. And we're going out today and meeting all of our fans and figuring out what we're doing with them and the new things that we can do with them. The world is changing every hour. We are driving that change. And at 62 years old, I'm really proud to be part of this. I can't believe that I'm lucky enough to keep going over and over and over again, to be in the game with you. If we ever meet and I tell you you're wrong, please throw it back in my face. I hope you know that you're the hope of this, this cultural world that we live in. You are defining the culture that people will talk about for decades to come. And I hope you consider yourself as lucky as I consider myself, because without you, it'd be a really boring place out there. Thank you very much, everybody.